So I hope that you feel at this point that we didn't lie about you not things afterwards. Okay, let's finish up the day and then go home. All right, so team 5?
5, yes.
Is about to take it off. Take it away. They're almost there.
This is going. Very nice. Just leave it here?
Yeah, that's,
Oh, does it look like it's muted, or is that a button?
it's to mute.
It's not muted.
Because if you touch here, maybe you could disconnect the mic.
Oh, then maybe.
Looked like it was. There's a step on the right side. I go to info maybe.
Yeah, all right, we're good. Okay, we have our project, the belt-driven can compression system.
So hi everyone, I'm Natalie. I'm a biomedical engineering major.
I'm Security, civil engineering major.
Okay, so our inspiration for this design came from its environmental benefits. So trash compaction reduces waste volume by up to 70%, and it allows for minimization in plastic bag usage, which produces an easier collection and transportation process.
Okay, so the components. Motor couldn't quite cut it, so we've got a drill, right? Demo it in a bit, but the drill obviously drives the drive shaft, which in turn turns these pulleys. You see that this is kind of like a cam-like arm. When it moves, it creates a linear motion of this board, and that compresses our compressible.
Here are just some images.
Of course, this sees a better image of our pulley here. This is actually ABS material, it's not PLA. ABS is the thing in Legos. We're all familiar with Legos. That's a lot more rigid, a lot more durable than PLA filament. Here is the quick fix of a rubber band because this got, sorry, we'll see that later. This was a earlier iteration of this pulley here. As you can see, this was just barely holding it, so we realized that with a lot of torque and a lot of movement, the belt would be moving side to side, so we scaled it up.
And also, just to add on to our original image, we originally intended it for one pulley or two pulleys, but in one frame itself. So we thought that by expanding it, it might have improved it.
Yeah, right, so
we'll
demo. If this works, then away. Yeah, just take that out of there. So you can see, like, the idea works, kind of.
So as you can see from the issue,
Okay.
so after a few rotations, the pulley system does get stuck and doesn't allow for the full motion. And so as stated earlier, the thread on the screw had gotten damaged, so we couldn't put another nut on it, so we just implemented with a rubber band. And so the pulley system also doesn't create enough force, so we can't actually crush the cans, but it does do the motion of it. And just from our original design, also the pulley systems weren't wide enough, so we had to put that.
So to add on to, yeah, just go back for a second. One of the reasons why we don't actually have enough force to compress anything here is because our gear ratio is geared for speed as opposed to torque. Should have been the other way. You know, that's something we'll cover later. But yeah, next slide, please. So some of the solutions that we improvised, right? The strip screw that we discussed before, fix it up with a rubber band, provides just enough stopping force. You know, we mentioned before, the various array of motors that we had tested. Unfortunately, none of them could provide enough torque and power speed to drive the system. The drill is the remedy. Yeah, I mentioned this before, so next slide. Okay, it's me. All right. Potential areas of improvement for our product here. So obviously, we would benefit greatly from modifying the pulley system with 2 motors instead of 1, so that there could be a lot more force, and in which case we would actually be able to crush something. Yeah. Adjusting the placement. Right. So additionally, if we had if we had a proper system for putting cans in here, right, we'd be able to stack them up and kind of something that allows one to fall out after the other. Right, and then a cutout hole here would allow compressed cans to fall through, and then you could put a bucket, something underneath, and turn this into a full high automated system.
Thank you.
This is manual.
It's not. Yeah.
Kind of close to this.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. Yeah.
Questions?
Excellent.
Questions?
Serena?
How do you lay the tube?
With a lathe. Next question.
We had some help from another ME student.
What happened to them? We still have them. They just were not.
Oh, I just wasn't there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the motor would spin with nothing on it, but then when there's any resistance, it would stop spinning. So don't buy motors from Amazon. Any other questions? No. Yes. I know that the rated RPM was 7.
29,000. It was 12.
I think it was
29,000.
29,000.
Still have. It was 20. Yeah. From 12 to 29.
Yeah.
It was around 12 to 29. Yeah.
12 to 29 torque?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 to 29 pounds of torque. So you have to think about what that will translate to when you translate that torque into rotational turning and then back to linear turning, right, with the added weight of the machine. So what their mistake was that they undersized the motor. Okay? But it's a good mistake to learn from. All right? Good job. That's one of the team. I appreciate your mechanical project. As a mechanical engineer, I feel so happy.
Yeah, we also wanted to get out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, these guys are civil engineers. They have no idea about anything related on their project. Ambient civil, sorry.
Yeah, we need to move.
All right. Team 6. With the Mobot! It's time for the Mobot, everybody! Actually, I'm not so excited because Kuzi said he's going to replace me with the Mobot, so.
Our project was so good. All right.
Hat and everything, bro.
No, not just one hand.
Not just one hat, by the way.
Faster what? That was the fastest time since
Don't look over you understand.
All right.
Guys, shut up. This is the most important team.
The most important team. All right, so this is the Mobot. Let's start with introductions. My name is Ayala. I'm a third-year computer engineering student here.
My name is Mario Ortiz. I'm an electrical engineer, also a junior, about to be an upper senior.
I'm Emmanuel Hernandez, mechanical engineer, and it's my career.
We also had 3 other teammates, Aisha, Khaliha, and
Lydia.
yeah, but unfortunately they couldn't make it today, but they had very important contributions as well.
We had like diverse teams, so like everybody was different. 2 environmental, 1 computer engineer, biomedical, electrical, and other mechanical.
Sure. So, as we all know, we did project 1, the small project in the makerspace, and we'll spend a lot of time there. So it became time to brainstorm really some amount of teams sitting around and we're thinking, how can we improve the makerspace? So, as great as the place is, there are some issues. And like upon a lot of thought, and a lot of, kind of thinking on that, the best thing we can come up with to improve the makerspace is to add more Mo. Hence the Mobot was born.
That's right.
Awesome. Yeah. I also realized a lot that, for starters, every time I came to like a meeting, a lot of people would forget to sign in, and a lot of people would be getting lost. So creating a robot, or like just anything that would help like assist like new students, like find stuff in the makerspace without constantly asking people, would just make it a lot simpler. Just for anyone to just traverse around the area. It's very complicated the first time someone comes into the makerspace.
I'd like to add something else. Signage is really important because of the fact that like it shows that we're using the space. This is really important for funding because like if you show that we're using space. What? Oh yeah. You guys sign in. Everybody should know that when you come here, you sign in because the more we sign in, the more funding you'll get, the more things you'll be able to afford, the more things.
More robots.
Yeah.
That's right. I'd like an army, please.
So yeah, just like throw that out there. Increasing the signage is really important. Hopefully with this bot in this space, we'll be able to like increase signage. Not only like us, the CiPASS members, but also like outside, because a lot of people use the space. Not only us, like a lot of us do, but we're gifted to be able to learn the space better than everybody else. So yeah. What next?
Awesome.
Next up.
So for the functionality, basically, the way the robot works is initially it'll detect when someone walks into the makerspace, and it'll output something like a sound that pretty much will remind you to sign in. And then
What sound?
right now it's just a regular like tone sound. That's something we'll talk about later.
We don't make promises, but we like.
It can, but currently it doesn't.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Huh? No. If you walk in without signing in, you're at the mercy of the Mobot.
That's right.
It will attack you.
That's right. We need an army of
We're
this.
running Terminator mode. We're not actually running Terminator mode. That's false advertising.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
So it also has a keypad option where you can come in and then you can press the keypad. It'll have like a set number of locations. So for example, right now we have like here. At the moment, it's our only location. So
We also have 2 locations right now.
Okay, I didn't see that. So yeah, you press one of the 2 keys, and then the mobile will go to the specific direction. It uses IR sensors, PIR, RGB color sensors as well. And that's basically everything that it does.
You guys covered this. Keep going.
Yeah.
I can briefly review all the components that we're using. So as you can see here, we've got the photo sensor, the IR sensor, and the motors. So we're going to see in the next slide kind of where they're used, but most of these sensors are going to be found on the bottom, because as you can see, there's a lot of lines on the floor right now, and these sensors are used to follow that line, and it has junctions where you can see marked in red, right there where security is, as well as there at the home spot and at the other location. We're using this sensor right here to kind of sense that color, and for each location it has like a map kind of thing. Oh, what else has had?
Yo, that's cold.
Yeah. It's true. You want to switch it. Yeah, but we need those IR sensors and those color sensors so it could map its way to the correct location, and that's what that does. You can also see actually on the bottom that there's 2 white LEDs, which I could turn on, but I will not right now because then this thing might try and jump off the table again. But actually the situation is that color sensing is pretty tricky because as people we can tell what color something is even if we're in green tinted light, we can still tell if red is red, even if objectively it is not. However, when it comes to color sensing, we can't really do that, so if the spot is not well lit, we won't be able to sense that actually. As we move on to issues, proceed.
Oh. Is Mo going to show us private parts?
Robot will.
I don't know if this is okay.
Well, you'll consent to the.
Hey man, it's not me, it's the robot.
Yeah. So this is a prototype, basically. So just for easy like prototyping purposes. Front opens.
Crazy wiring, it'll look better someday.
Inshallah.
It's got packaged.
Well, it's all about
Yeah, you should go over it. Like she was mentioning, there's like IR sensors, and there's these IR sensors, which means infrared sensors. They're these two thingies. The LED lights are right there. I know it's like really tiny for everybody else. I can't see it. They're there. That's the RGB sensor. That's the one that struggles to like find colors. So that's how we are in the lights. It has 2 wheels, as you can see, but you realize that it doesn't have 4 wheels, and that's because 4 wheels is a little harder. So I decided to do 2 wheels. So we're gonna stick with that. The third wheel is a ball bearing, and it just gives it like ability to like move whatever. So it like takes the issue from taking 4 wheels to like 2 wheels, and like the back wheel just like, kind of goes wherever the 2 wheels go. So it gives it balance basically.
Do we know that's driver?
Yeah, this is the motor for 2. As you can see, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but the driver motor looks like this for 2 wheels. For 4 wheels, it looks a little more complicated. That's why I didn't want to do 4 wheels. I stick with the ball bearing. But hopefully someday I will learn though, and I'm the breadboard. I can do it. So we wanted a system where like you're able to both get like both the pod is like a robot, which is able to move around the whole area, as well as like be able to have a stationary place, which is going to have the PIR sensor. And that's really, it's a fancy name for just motion sensor, and it just like tells if somebody walks next to it, and well, in front of it, and that's able to like tell like when it passes, it activates something, and it's going to tell you like sign in. For now, it's a tone, and like it like does a little tone, and like you're kind of like. It makes you like, well, like when you hear a sound, you want to know where it's coming from. So for now, it's a tone, but maybe someday we could get Mo to record his voice, and he was gonna scream at you when you don't sign in. But that also has the ability to like, it's gonna be connected to a keyboard. In the keyboard, you press some digits, and depending on the numbers you do, it will do by Bluetooth connect to the mobile, and the mobile will direct itself to the room. That way, like the keyboard is not in the robot. It'd be like somewhere like much taller.
Of the mobile.
You guys can do the exterior as well.
It's a pretty exterior.
And
Yeah,
then the
okay,
human
then
body,
yeah.
like normal human body also looks crazy as well.
Got so much junk.
Yeah, this is some of the photos for the RGB color sensor.
Yeah. So this is for this sensor on the bottom here, the color sensor that senses like the junction points. We go next slide. This is for this is for the wheels. So yeah, that allows the wheels to spin and like take it forward, backwards, to right, left, stay on track while it's moving.
This is the low power mode. This is what I also worked on. So initially we had a lot of issues with the battery. The battery would die very quickly. I was working on the wireless charger as well, but one of the pieces broke. So I found another really good solution. This comes with Arduino, so no library necessary. It uses an AVR sleep mode function to just put the Arduinos into like a deep sleep mode, and then when it's like going to when like someone presses a pin or something, it'll like go on a wake up mode basically. So it just conserves the battery a lot.
Please protect.
All right. So I'll do the next one since this is my. I'll be working on this like Bluetooth. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it yet, but this is a work in progress. We're testing it right now. We made it work to send packets, but I was troubleshooting it and I couldn't make it send the correct packages, so it's a work in progress. But we will definitely make it so Bluetooth works. I would say we're spoiled by Bluetooth. I really thought it was gonna be much simpler, but it's not. But this is the like code. I don't know if you guys want to look at it. I would say it's pretty boring. You can skip that. Our code, just skip it. It's like.
Another thing that I added onto the Mobot, because I thought it would be kind of cool since we only have tones, was I added so it would play songs in tone version. So there's two codes here. One of them makes like a Christmas sound. That's why we have the hat, and it can play a Christmas sound with the tones. It's cool. And I think the other one was like a Super Mario sound. Because my name's Mario. So I thought it would be fire too. Yeah. That would be like enjoyable. So like I may not talk at the moment because I didn't get one of the pieces. It would have taken too long to come. But at least it sings Christmas music that's it walks by the bigger space.
This is my domain. So I did a 3D CAD model of like it. This is like a lot of little pieces bunched together into like assembled, but all of these play into little pieces. It looks complicated, but I would say it's not. I'll quickly run over it. That box is gonna be like this box, but instead 3D printer, it's back there. But we didn't use it because we ran into some problems.
And what happened was we were going to, replace it in that box, but when we actually inquired of Mo, he said that the cardboard box spoke a lot more than him, and we wanted him to like feature himself in the creation of the robot. So
it wasn't.
He's up with the cardboard box.
A colorful beat up cardboard box.
Thankfully, you see that hexagonal head? We got rid of it. We got the real Mo right there.
That's right.
We're gonna upgrade it, and hopefully we get an actual 3D render, much better than it is right now. But yeah, that head is gone. It shouldn't be there.
How did you make the head?
Oh, so for the head, we tried to use the 3D scanner that the Makerspace has, but unfortunately we couldn't make it work. So instead we went to our phone, and our phones are amazing. They have like a lot of apps. We used a 3D scanner app, and Mo sent it there. I went around and it took a lot of pictures. It uploaded to the cloud, and it was able to send it as a STL file. And from the XC file, I was able to transform it into like a part, and we got the head. So it was pretty cool that we got it. Everybody, it's really amazing how you can do like something so plain with 3D printers, 3D scanners. But hopefully we can do it even cleaner. Maybe a resin printer. No promises, but I'm gonna try.
It did take some sanding. They were like kind of when you do a 3D scan, especially with like I think probably especially with the phone.
Yeah.
There would be some weird like I had to kind of file down this like tumor thing coming out of his head, like don't think.
Yeah, definitely like.
Mo's actual head.
Sometimes, like it wasn't perfect. As you can see, it wasn't perfect. It didn't get fast fully, but that's like the trade-off for using your phone, and it's free compared to like a expensive 3D scanner. So, but it worked out, man. It's really good. Like for like free, it's really good. Besides that, this gonna be like for the wireless charging. I don't want to explain too much because it kind of doesn't make sense until you guys see it. So maybe one day you guys see it. But it has like a removable like side to it. Like a lot of things are like removable, and it's I think it was like fun to work with.
Next slide.
This is just a video of mobile working testing phase.
Yeah, this is using just the line follower kind of aspect because that was the beginning of allowing it to actually map out the movement and find its way to various locations when you input different spots you want to get to.
So for future directions,
Speak up.
For future directions, what do you want to talk about the tape, the exclusive tape?
Yeah, sure. So one issue the mobile has, I can actually run it right now so you can see for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, make this more. But one of the issues it has is that when it is off the page, it doesn't stop running, it just keeps going. And then it space works into the wall.
Runaway Mobot.
Yeah, this is bad for several reasons.
I know how it feels.
That is not good. So, like, if it's not line, I'll stay on line. But if it's not on existing speed, it'll just. want to work on? Still going? Okay.
Put them on the line.
We're gonna let them go.
Is he back on the line?
So right now, the way we're doing stuff is we're testing to see, if he efficiently follows the various locations. And for each kind of, as Mario previously explained, we're gonna have a list on the wall in alphabetical order of all the various stuff that we have in this space that lets us use all these tools. Each one's gonna have like a number assigned to it. Put that number in like a keypad, which will be attached to this guy right here. They'll show you where that is. So as of now, we have to kind of put into the code what number we're trying to follow. There.
Sorry for like people who can't see it, but can just tell them the words.
None of my friends got bots. I got a robot. That's right. So I go. So powerful. So powerful. He's gonna make it. Don't worry. Right. Yeah. Here we go.
That's
I'm
not.
waiting.
And we know this, when you line keeps going, so that's one thing to fix. Another one is that sometimes when you're coding the robot, there's like certain features we have in place that are safety features, such as, if you, no matter what mode he's in, kind of.
Oh yeah, I disconnected.
Oh, he did? Well, it's fine. Regardless of what mode he's in, if he gets to like a black line and it's kind of facing a black line, he'll stop. And another thing is that when you put him sideways, he's supposed to stop. Now that usually works, but yesterday, the Mobot decided to end it all, jump off the cable, and destroy our inside. We had to rewire here,
That goes a while.
That took like 3 hours to fix everything. And that was.
He's a little rebel.
Yeah. So that's definitely something else to work on.
And yeah, just the wireless battery system that I was gonna implement, just it ended up not working due to just some of the, from what I remember, one of the pieces also broke. Because of that, I couldn't implement it. But the way it would work was that, so you know how normally the mobile would go back to its like the spot in the front where it goes on the off state. At that spot, it would turn off, and then there would be a transmitter and receiver coil in the bottom, and it would take when the two coils are in parallel like this, the receiver gets voltage and it would charge the battery.
Yeah, it's like stationary, like your Apple Watch or like your phone on like wireless.
Yeah, it's like imagine you put your phone like this. You know, that's the chargers where they charge like that.
Yeah.
That was the intention.
But it's gonna park itself. It's gonna know where to go.
That's definitely another issue. It really drains batteries like crazy. So recharging the battery would be much more sustainable and much more efficient. We have to replace the batteries. So that's definitely something we're going to use in the future as we continue to improve.
I love them more. I know my team, but they're the best team. Thank you.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Let's say,
We got some.
so let's say Mobot gets and loses its track. If they were to somehow get back on it, would it be able to retrack it?
Well, as I stated, I mean, we could try that. But like I said, let's say it ends up here. If it's at a solid flat line, it will stop. That's how I got it to stop when I was programming it. because otherwise I would just be chasing after this thing who decided to leave while I was uploading code. So I thought it was up, but if it kind of moves like here and then goes back here, yeah, we get back on track. However, we had an issue earlier where like one of the people here was wearing a black shoe. I don't really know why she was putting it here, but it decided to fall off the shoe. But you gotta really put it like under the IR sensor for that to happen. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, it definitely agree with itself, but it doesn't really have programs in place for that. The idea is that it doesn't leave this line, which it tends to vary for that. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I would say like it's pretty loud, so you should hear it coming. If you don't, I'm sorry, but this. No, but like it's loud. It's loud when it walks. Yeah, it wobbles and they're like so loud. But I think like that's a blessing in disguise. Like you know it's coming. You can hear it.
That's right. I want them to fear that sound. That's right. They hear that sound, they start crying, panics away.
Do you guys think like the robot, like if you optimize your scan hours, you can handle elevators and such?
Elevators.
Like if
So-
you want to leave someone from a different floor.
The idea for like the implementation in this interface and in general in this marketplace is that it would be kind of for single use spaces mostly that like that include a lot of storage. So if you're walking into a storage space or a similar major space and you're like, where is everything? Well, you can get instructions like it's in the closet. You can look around. It's not very helpful. So something like this, which is like much more kind of high end, but also helps you find stuff, would be great. Just check out what's in the front. So I think for now we're sticking with single rooms, especially this room, because we do have plans to try and add in more locations to the maker space because this really would be very helpful. Even for me, comes here a lot. Like I can't remember everything is. So
Yeah, I would like to add that like sometimes you're really shy to like ask anybody like super users to ask, or sometimes you don't even know who super users are. We have asked, but it's a work in progress. But as of right now, if you like are looking for something and you don't want to find somebody and it works, go for it. It works. It will tell you where to go.
You have your hand up.
Yeah, like are you planning on recording those voice to use it as like voice assistant by itself, so it's talking kind of like.
yeah. What do you choose to ball bearing for the back wheel instead of like a wheel that can kind of just spin around?
Wall bearing?
Yeah, like why don't you ball bearing?
So I we kind of modeled over like a old another like kid we have well like I kind of helped build and we took inspiration from there and from there we like I was like it works like we're gonna use it but I will look into that. Just send me like the link or the folder or whatever.
No, it looks like you're using ball bearing.
So you're talking about
The back one.
no but we're set to use another one.
Oh no, like 'cause sometimes there's like wheels that can like spin, and so instead of using something like that, it would just be wheels. Because this one can spin in any direction, it's it's not going to hinder it in like any direction if it's kind of swiveling. If you had a wheel that just went forward, that can kind of drag. So it eliminates that issue pretty well. Yeah, I was thinking with the wheel that could also go in any direction. That's a very good solution.
I can see that, yeah. It's just okay.
No, it's a smart
Okay,
idea.
yeah. Anybody else questions?
How long does the battery
The batteries last? Good question. Yellow, you want to answer that?
Okay, so one of the other issues is that the amount of charge on the batteries actually directly affects the speed of the wheels, which could be a big problem for things like manual turning, which is what happens when you get to a junction and want to turn left. So, for example, like the way that works is it'll turn left and then I'll put in a specific amount of time for it to be turned left. Who asked that question? So I can look at that. Okay. So if it gets to that red jump and it's supposed to turn right, it's just going to turn right for a certain amount of time. But if the speed of the wheels has now changed because there's lower charge and it's going slower, it doesn't necessarily account for that, and we can tell as a result become less accurate. So estimate, I think I would keep the same 9-volt battery for about like 2 hours, which is not very long, which is why the chargers that are working on would be so important to making this more efficient and just like sustainable. Yeah.
John Luke?
Yeah, if it become road lights, kind of, is there always like one control it?
Your lights are
It's a Mobot, bro. It wins.
It doesn't have Terminator mode, as I mentioned earlier.
I can't stop it.
Okay, I think that's all the questions. Thank you very much for this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I also want to say thank you to like the makerspace, Brian, everybody who helped us, the apprentices, because like sometimes we were like, I would go around not knowing what I do, and then Ryan came once and told me if like my batteries were dead, and he came with a multimeter and just like checked them. And I didn't know how like that works, but he helped me check my batteries were dead. So that was really helpful. And then everybody else, like our mentors, Angie, out there helping us. Our other group members couldn't make it. They were like a big part, although they couldn't come. They had other situations. Well, let us scan his face. He had to sit next to you like 3 minutes to see like. But those were right.
It was so long, it was so arduous sitting in the chair. This is the new super user hat. You walk in here and you see this hat on somebody, they are God. Okay? That's how you know. All right. Thank you. They are also human mobots.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Last but not least, Team 7. This is a 2-man team. All right? That means they're better than the rest of you. Thank you.
No, the 18. Oh, there's a charger.
Sorry. So hi everyone. My name is Sylvia. I'm a junior in mechanical engineering.
I'm a 5th-year senior in mechanical engineering.
And our last team member is Melissa. She couldn't make it today, but she's also a junior in mechanical engineering. So our project today is an automated coin sorter. And so what we aimed to do was to use rotational motion to sort the coins. And essentially, we have several layers that are rotating. And when you put a coin in, then it'll sort it based on the size. And we also aim to sort the coins so then you could later retrieve them once the machine is done sorting it. And we also aimed to record how much money is stored and display that information on an LCD display. So we picked this project because we wanted to improve upon existing piggy bank designs, and also when we were considering all the aspects that we wanted to cover, we wanted to make sure that everyone in our team. So sorry. Oh. I made it some technical issues.
When we get you a laptop?
Probably.
I don't know why. I don't think it's a laptop.
So guys, technical difficulties?
Yeah. It just disconnected mid slide.
Oh, the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that sometimes. It's just, this is very sensitive. Okay, just like be very gentle with
Okay,
it.
so I just won't touch it.
Yes.
Okay. So one main thing that we wanted to cover is that a lot of our team members started off with little to no knowledge of the makerspace, and that includes me as well. But we did have prior knowledge from our past classes and from high school, with just like general knowledge of, like I knew how to use like a breadboard, and other team members, like Ram knew how to CAD beforehand, and things like that. So we wanted to improve upon our existing skills and also just our new skills and use all of that and showcase that within our project. We also picked it because we thought that it would be simple, but we realized otherwise.
Okay, so these are some of the initial designs that we initially had. Just to go through them real quick.
This is our first proposed design to sort the coins. There's 4 different layers, and there is a motor and there is a spinner. Basically, the first layer here has holes that are big enough for all the coins to go through except for quarters, so all the quarters would get stuck in there. This one has holes for all the coins to go into except nickels. This one, all the coins can go into except, pennies. So basically all the quarters get stuck here, the nickels get stuck here, pennies, and then dimes. The only problem with this design is once the coins are sorted, we don't really know where they go to get stored. So initially we proposed this kind of door mechanism, and we would use a linear actuator to lift the doors. But still, somehow we have to get the coins to go somewhere down a ramp. And this idea just seemed very convoluted. So we wanted to redesign it so that we don't have all these different layers, all these different doors and whatnot. So we came up with this. So this alleviates the problem of having different layers. It also has somewhere for the coins to go. So once they've been sorted in dimes, pennies, nickels, quarters, they go down like a chute and they come out through the side. Again, that doesn't really make sense because the coins don't get stored anywhere. They kind of just shoot out. So here you can see the chutes on the bottom. So we had to figure out a way to still store the coins in this design. Ultimately, this would be the design that we iterate on. So again, some of the issues that we faced. Where do the coins go once sorted? We'll show our solution to that. We also dealt with a lot of manufacturing problems. So this, as it stands right here, these are just 2 separate pieces, the spinner and the base. We tried to print this. This is our failed print. It's very scuffed, and so it doesn't really work. Also, it would have taken a really long time, so one of the things that we learned while doing this project was that we have to iterate on the design to minimize manufacturing time. Because this is a coin sorter, there are also design tolerances that we have to consider, so the diameter of the coins. Also, you'll see that we have different parts, and when we glue stuff, you don't use it, eventually things kind of like spiral out of control. So design tolerances is something that affects how well it'll sort the coins. So to solve some of the problems that we encountered, so I said before we didn't know where the coins should go. We added these chutes at the bottom, so when the coins get sorted, they go through the chutes. And we have drawers where the drawers would store the coins. We also had to redesign. Here's what we did to redesign. So before I said it was only 2 parts. Now we have a bunch of different parts. The reason we had to do this was to minimize manufacturing time. You can see that we have kind of just like cutouts here. Because this is all unnecessary material, we just removed it. And that minimized our print time from 30 hours down to 13 hours. Awesome. That's great work. Yeah. And we also created holes in the main base to minimize manufacturing time. Here's our process. I showed you guys our failed print. This is also something that we were doing. Basically, the idea is we have this. So this would be attached to our shaft, and then the motor would spin the shaft. But we had to figure out a way to connect the shaft to the motor. Initially, we planned to drill through this aluminum rod, but we struggled getting it centered properly. So we just ended up designing this kind of collar thing. Connector, yeah. And we just used a press fit to press fit it inside. And it actually holds pretty well, like it doesn't really come out, surprisingly. So this is one of the ways that we solve this problem. Here's the process of us printing our new base. This is what we did to fit each piece into each position. Also, we should mention, we have a combination of laser cut parts and 3D printed parts, and we glued them together. Yeah, we attached our chutes, and we glued our printed ring at the top. Okay, so yeah, now we'll kind of show you guys what's happening here. So these are all of our different parts. This is our main base. These are our drawers where the coins get collected. This is our top piece. You can see these are the chutes. 3D printed. This is a chipboard, which we realized isn't very good to use because like peeling affects
It was the
our
only material available.
Yeah, so this is what we had to use. Here's our spinner. This is what sorts the coins. Also, you can see our print failed here, but at this point we kind of didn't have a choice, but we had to use it. So that affects how well this works. You can see it's like getting stuck.
Good.
But just to demonstrate, we don't have any quarters or pennies because we're poor, so we have dimes. It might not work because I'm holding it, but basically the coins, they would come down here, they get trapped inside of these holes, and then it spins, and the diameter of this hole is just big enough for a dime to go in. Okay, it's falling, but... and it would do that for all the other coins too, pretty much. So when the coins get sorted, they go down the chute to the drawer for you to retrieve later. That's the general idea. Yeah.
So I think the main thing here is that we realized that we had to do several iterations, and throughout the entire design process, so like the first half of this project, we spent a lot of time just trying to figure out the design. Because someone would, like, there was a moment where Brahm came up with a design, and then I would analyze it and find an issue with it, with either a mechanical aspect or electrical aspect. And I think Brahm mentioned how another problem that we had is figuring out how to retrieve the coins, and so that's something that we had to spend a lot of time on, just figuring out what would be the best design, and then we agreed on the drawers. And I think overall, it's just understanding that designing doesn't always translate perfectly to manufacturing, because when you start manufacturing prototypes, then you realize that you might not account for certain things, like for tolerance, or just the overall functionality of it, and so that's something that we had to account for. So clearly, we don't have any moving parts, but we did purchase and plan for having an electrical aspect to our coin sorter. So we purchased a battery, which would have been used to power it, and a DC motor, which is here, but if it was connected to a battery, then it would have spun the shaft. We also wanted to implement photodiodes within, so within the chutes right here, so that every time a coin spins at the top and goes through the chute, then it would be counted, and then we would know how many coins we have of each type. And that would also contribute to knowing how much money you have. We also wanted to implement a LCD display to tell you how much money you have within the bank, and a switch to just turn the entire system on and off. And another thing that we would implement is using a bearing within this layer. So we would have had to cut out a hole on this printed part and added a bearing inside, so that when we use the shaft, there won't be this, we didn't account for this tolerance, so you can see like it wiggles. So if you use a bearing instead, it'll hold in place, and you don't have to worry about just the sorter not working. The last slide was thank you, so. Oh.
You did a great job with your iterations. I feel like you learned a lot. I mean, you guys all learned a ton, but you did a great job of displaying what exactly you were running up against and what you were learning, and you were iterating, and you used some language that was important, which is designed for manufacturing, right? Like you made it clear that designing just for the sake of designing without thinking about how you're actually going to fabricate your design is meaningless.
Yep.
And so you learned that, and that's a huge thing to learn. So thank you for showing that and displaying that. Yep. All right.
You have any questions?
All right, one question, Angel.
So, when it's like finished, do you have like an estimated cost?
Cost for this? No, not really.
I mean, we could account for like how much we spent on our parts. I think it was like around 400.
Well, so because we had an electrical aspect planned as well, the whole cost to have the sensors and whatever, it was about $400. Not cheap at all, but yeah, we'd have to minimize that. All this? Oh, I don't know if people want.
I think we could definitely cut down on the cost because a lot of the cost was like multiple quantities of each item. So I think we had like 2 motors and pretty sure we did buy an Arduino, but a lot of those components you might already have within the makerspace, so you might not account for it. I don't think it would be over like 200 if we were to actually try to be like efficient with the cost.
Ron?
So, how much do you think it could take for us as you can, if we did expansion of it, storage of it, how much would it cost?
So right now we plan for it to hold about $100 in coins. We didn't really evaluate how much of each coin it could hold, but the total $100. To further expand, we'd probably just increase the size of these drawers or something,
Manny?
Oh, no, he answered my question earlier. He answered your question.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for sharing your project.
The mentors who have obviously done an incredible job.
Yes.
Thank you. Ryan, thank you. Thank you, Angie. And Dennis, thank you. Obviously to John and to Cardon, who's not here. They've been very helpful. Yeah, and thank you guys yourselves. You did a great job. You should appreciate it, be proud of yourself. And like, we just showed you a couple of opportunities. A bunch of people walked through the space, including the dean himself, and they were all interested in you. And so it's on you now. Like, we did our job. If you guys want, go and interact with those people and move yourself forward.
One thing that you should know is that starting January, there's going to be one person at CPDI, which is the Career Professional Development Institute, whose job is going to be exclusively to work with CiPASS students. So you'll have support if you want to find internships, if you want to find jobs. This is an incredible program, and I think that you all are very, very ahead of the curve of what's situated to find internships. So please take advantage of that. Now it's your time to be proactive in the next step, so that you can, get even more out of this experience.
Normally, one of the CPDI people are working with about 200 students. That one person that's going to be working exclusively on CiPASS is working on how many? 30 to 70 students per year. So you'll get more attention that way. And obviously, you have your project now, and you have the history of working with CiPASS. So you're well situated for your next step. All right, don't slow down. Find your next opportunity. Okay? Yeah, picture. Let's do this. Come on. I'm excited. I'm so proud. And I hope my robot